Mickey, let's talk about this because we know that demand is strong. We know that consumers are spending. What do you mean when you say that retail is not fully back?
Well, I think if you look at it, Becky, the real beginning of business improving was probably more towards the middle of the year. So I think it's stronger for sure because we're up against very easy numbers. And the vaccination started about a year ago or so. But I think it's not back 100%. And nothing's really ever back 100%. There's always going to be those who probably don't do as well. But everyone should be doing a lot better right now. I think the tougher challenges, in my opinion, will start probably towards the middle of the year. But things are very good out there. There are shortages, as you mentioned, and that probably helps margins for sure. And we're all doing a lot better. Of course, we have a startup, a relaunched startup, so we're hard to categorize. But yeah, I think we're going to have a really good holiday season. And I think by the middle of the year, who knows?
Mickey, when you say that not everybody's back, I think of some of the big box retailers as maybe having the best times they've ever had in terms of profitability, in terms of traffic, in terms of how they're handling some of these big problems. If you look at a Walmart or if you look at a Target or some of these companies that just never slowed down at all. When you say that some are struggling and not back, are you thinking more of the mall-based retailers, maybe some smaller retailers?
It's probably a quite broad statement. Because I think overall retail is better, but everyone's not going to win equally. I'm kind of old-fashioned about this world and retail. It's about goods. It's about what they look like. You've mentioned big discounters, and I think there's so many different categories of retail today. And they are back, but it's very weird out there. And you know, people were buying a lot of sweatshirts. They were buying a lot of casual clothes. So that's helped push things. And the traffic, people are enjoying shopping in the stores again, from what we can see. So I say not everyone's back because not everyone's always back. But I've read some earnings reports where things are a bit challenging. Time will tell. I don't think anyone really knows what's going to happen after the middle of the year. We're in kind of I called it kind of we're up against a snowstorm, and it's still pretty easy numbers out there. Bricks and mortar right now is getting stronger. The rents are getting a bit higher. You know, we opened our second store in Madison and 87th Street, so not that we're a very large indication, but we still feel the trends in a business like ours. And but traffic's up and business is up, but there are those laggards, and there always will be.
One of those laggards right now is your old stomping ground, Gap. I mean, that really caught Wall Street by surprise to hear the problems that they've kind of run into, and maybe even some problems with traffic too. What do you think when you look there?
Well, I think they're a great company, and they'll get it back at some point, I'm sure. That, you know, everyone's gone through their issues, and so they had a tough quarter, whatever, tough half, and I think they're going to come back.
Mickey, one of the things we've been talking about this morning is some pressure that's being put on Kohls right now from a very small investor called Engine Capital. They own about 1% of the shares, and they are now agitating to try and get Kohls to either spin off or sell its digital operation, which just seems a little crazy to me, the idea of splitting these things off. It seems like if you are a retailer who really wants to be able to make it, you probably have to have a very tightly controlled digital operation that works with the stores and vice versa. What are your thoughts on something like this? I mean, they're doing it because valuations for digital have tripled since March, but that seems like a pretty opportunistic way to try and bring some money out of the business.
I personally wouldn't know what to do if I had a retail bricks and mortar company along with a separate online company. They are so embracing each other that again, this is personal. I'm not an expert on that at all, but it sounds very, very challenging, difficult, and cumbersome because you now have two brands and not one. And how do you split them off? What do you change the name of one? Do you have different merchant teams, different operating teams? I don't get it. But then again, it's not my job.
You kind of are an expert, though. I mean, you are a retailing expert, so I would take your opinion on that.
Yeah, but I always go by common sense in retail and every other. It doesn't make sense to me. Why? I can't imagine for all the companies I've been, I've ran, or at Gap or wherever, J. Crew, Madewell. I couldn't imagine splitting them off, and that's just a simple answer. And maybe someone's real smart and will figure out how to do it. It seems like it is agitation or whatever you call it. I don't know either company really. I know Kohls, but I don't know the people going after it. But time will tell.